All right, greetings, folks. We are doing the Pocket Change Market Report. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first one for the month of October 2023, the fourth of the month. Yeah, I'm all over the place already. But it's okay. We are going to deep dive into some of the most notable sales from the last 48 hours of your favorite varieties and errors that you can find out in the wild today. Now, whether that means just simply casually hunting through a little bit of pocket change or going through some bank rolls from the bank, of course. And let's not forget the coin shows and coin shops. All the time, we have the opportunity to cherry pick some of the coins that you're going to see here today, and the dealers won't know it, So, a few different options here to find some of these coins, and I've said it once, I'll say it again. The error and variety market is extremely niche. There's a pretty deep pool of collectors, and sometimes they're not easy to access if you're not using online resources. In this particular case, people are selling them on eBay, and the biggest reason why is that they untap this large base of collectors that want these coins that you own. If you try going locally to a coin shop or show, oftentimes they won't be interested in those coins, and with good reason. They want stuff that they could turn over right away. Precious metals, numismatic related type coins, things like that. Just easy, low hanging fruit stuff. That's how they make their money. All right, but as far as errors and varieties, you have to put a little bit of work in. But you can make some pretty good money. I've been doing this for many years, and it has represented a good deal of what I like to call my side hustle income, and it's treated me well. And as long as you know what you're looking for, even better news, you don't have to grade these coins because they certainly sell and speak for themselves. So make sure you're paying attention, jot down some notes, grab a cup of tea or coffee, get ready to dive in here. We have an absolute blockbuster of a PCMR today. One dealer, South Park Coins, unloaded some special things, some special coins that you certainly won't want to miss. So we don't grade the coins, keep the money in your pocket, save that money. And then additionally, you're also going to see in this video the original photos from those listings. We didn't juice or doctor any of these photos. They are as original as they come, right directly off those listings. So at the very least, you're going to know what that low bar is set, so that way you could plan accordingly when you're photographing these coins. It doesn't take much to make a difference here on that. So, and as usual, I wanted to kick today off with our little calendar of events. So last night we had another really awesome Unsearched Wheat Roll auction. It was part 2 out of God knows how many of them I have. I have enough to probably do a Tuesday auction every week until about December is what I'm figuring. So we'll see how that goes. Although I don't think I'll be around next Tuesday for a show. We'll see. I'll let you guys know. So the October 3rd sale already come and gone. Today's the 4th. But this Friday, stay tuned. We have a big one. We have the pre-Vegas coin party. Me and my wife are heading to Vegas. I'm going to the Nevada coin show, which is held in Las Vegas. And I don't know. I might do a live event there. Let's see how it goes. But we also have the wifey/hubby competition. All right. So we went to the Sacramento coin show last Friday and Saturday. And me and my wife engaged in a little bit of a competition. And whatever happens, it'll benefit you guys because we bought some inventory that we are going to sell on this Friday, October 6th. This Friday's Whatnot show. And the one that makes the most amount of money, well, they win. And the loser has to cough up $100 value coin to give away this Friday. So if not for nothing, come on by. There's going to be some pretty nice stuff. And the giveaways are going to be epic as usual. And that's it, be 4 p.m., an hour early this Friday, Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you guys there. If you're brand new, go ahead and check out the referral link down below in the description box, or it's going to be pinned in the comments as well. Go ahead and sign up. Grab your $15 in credit that you could only get with Blue Ridge Silverhound's referral link. So go check it out. Hope to see you guys there. Should be a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to go ahead and dive right in and try and go as expediently as we can on these listings. All right, so we have a 1986D Lincoln Memorial cent. It looks a little bit off-center, I would say. This one struck approximately 65 to 70% off-center. Good-looking coin. As you guys would guess, I stress this a lot, that these off-centers and broad strikes, there are people that collect these by date. So they're trying to look for one of every date and mint mark. And I can tell you right away that this is one of the tougher dates that you can encounter out there. And 86D, normally Denver mints, you don't see too many of this type of error. This one ended up selling for $21.25. Really good looking coin as well. I mean, no carbon spotting. Sure, you could see the split plating on there to expose a zinc core, which is quite normal on these type of coins when everything gets all stretched out. So great way to start things off. We have another one here. As kind of a contrast, the seller does a really good job with the photography with that kind of like maroon background to offset and complement the coins that he or she sells. So we have another off-center struck Lincoln, another zinc era type planchet. It's off-center by about 35-40% this time around. You can barely see the date. It's a 1990s coin. All right, so it could be anything. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a full readable date, but it still did manage to sell for $20.45 with 11 bids, which, again, it's right in the wheelhouse, and it's a generally problem-free coin. If you do come across these at like coin shops and shows, and they're selling them for cheap, you might want to consider picking them up. I've found these for like $5-10 in bargain bins, and knew immediately that I could make some money flipping these. So that's where kind of these come into play. Outside of that, the only place that you're going to find these type of mint errors is going to be going through original mint sewn bags. But those are very few and far between these days, and they're quite expensive on the secondary market. We also have another one here. Now, I can tell you, the older we get in a series, and it's this type of error, off-center, broad struck, whatever the case may be, these coins are highly desired because, again, we're talking about the same narrative here. These are being put into date sets. And then the more obsolete designs, like this one is the wheat cent reverse, which makes it kind of like that obsolete design. 1952D, tough, Denver, mint. It's off-center by about 25-30%. And to give you a little bit of a contrasting valuation, this one sold for $125. The coin is in phenomenal shape, save for a couple carbon spots that don't detract from the overall beauty of this coin. Again, if you come across something like this at a coin shop or a show and they're asking 40, 50, 60 bucks for it, keep in mind it might seem expensive, but this one sold for $125. So that might be your opportunity to shine here, make some extra money. Of course, Christmas is just around the corner. A coin like this, resold and flipped on eBay, will make a huge impact on your bottom line. Well, still quite the update on these. As much as you want to think these things are dropping down to 0 or at least 1 cent because that's the face value, you have listings like these that just come out of nowhere. Again, we're talking about the 2023 Shield cents with the extra V at the base of the Lincoln's bust there. It's right next to VDB, Victor David Brenner's initials, the designer of the obverse of the Lincoln cent. When we look up close, you can see that a little extra V notch in there. And these things, as you guys know, have been popular all year. These things got down to as much as 25, $30, and there are still some that did sell for that. I just did not add them in here because I didn't want to flood the PCMR with that coin when all we need is just one coin to update you guys on. But those particular coins exhibit a lot more circulation wear. I want you guys to keep in mind you could still find these in nice gem condition, but as time goes on, folks, these things are going to get pretty beat up. All right, so 2 years from now, if we're still looking for these and they still have some sort of popular trend to them, all right, it's going to be a lot more tougher to find some of those really nice mid-state 65 and up grades. So this one right here sold for $89.99. You can see a few of those little black spots on there. Those are actually water spots from the rinse the U.S. Mint uses to wash the planchets after the plating occurs. So that's an unfortunate blight on these coins, and that's generally the big reason why these things don't grade 68, 69s, and 70s is because of those things. So coins and cards, banging out a few hugies here. How about a 1972 Lincoln Memorial Cent doubled die obverse, the FS101, of course, always at the forefront of any fanboy cherry pickers list. This one, as you can see, has some of the strongest doubling that you could imagine. Again, you look at it long enough and you'll go crazy. You might even have a little bit of a migraine headache as a result. Always a huge coin for not only searchers, but collectors want these until the end of days. Check out Liberty and the date here. It's the strongest around, only rivaled by the 55 DDO and the 69S DDO and a few others. So this one right here is in great shape. I would say it might be a nice mid-level, mid-state brown, but it wouldn't surprise me if a grading company gave it red brown as well. Kind of on the fence of that there. So this coin, still a whopper. $385 was the sold price with 20 bids. Again, phenomenal coin. I wish I had one of these. I don't have any in stock. I've owned one before and sold it, and I made a mistake. I should have never sold this, and that was like 7 years ago. So it might be a little while before I grab another one of these. I prefer to buy it off the secondary market. I've tried hunting for these for a long time, and they're tough. They're getting to the point where they're tough to cherry pick right out of circulation. And speaking of which, 1955, DDO, the FS101, the big dog, is in the house. And as you can tell, both of these coins sold are raw, ungraded. You got to make sure you know what you're looking at to make sure that the coin you are buying is indeed genuine, because this is one of the top most commonly faked varieties. There's a lot baked into this coin, so it's understandable. And the values are quite high. This one right here ended up selling for $2,074 with 21 bids. Again, another healthy price point. I dare say that this is probably like an AU55 level grade, and it falls right in line with the value of such. Now, not nearly as pricey or expensive as the previous two coins, but, you gotta take the smalls with the bigs, all right? And this is one of those examples here. This is actually a very plentiful variety on the 1956D Lincoln Wheat Cent. This one's not in too bad a shape. I've seen much better mid-state red examples. This one has a few spots in certain places, plus... it's not the cleanest mid-state red I've seen in a while. But look up close. Yeah, check that out. We have a repunch mint mark. So we have an extra D that was punched west of the primary mint mark. This is the, I think, the big RPM for the date. RPM, number 1 or number 2, whatever it is. The FS 501 is also referred to from the Cherry Picker's Guide. And this one sold for $30.75 with 10 bids. So as you can see, you could stack up a whole boatload of this $20, $30, $40 price level of coins. That's going to be easier for you to find. and then do really well, at the end of the month. So keep that in mind. Very nice one here. And a coin that certainly is overlooked by damn near everyone should not be any longer. This is a beast of a coin. And it just so happens to be on the very first date of the copper nickel clad era. All right, remember, this was not the beloved date that everybody wanted back in the day. A lot of these were thrown out there, they got beat up, they got trashed, and best you believe, there is a huge variety on this coin. Let's go ahead and take a close look. Yeah, this is the FS101 doubled die obverse. Check out the strong doubling on this particular coin. And this one is actually a later die state as well. Earlier die states show much more crisp and robust doubling on there. This one is just simply a monster. Good job by the seller as well, throwing in a little bit of the pink arrows in there. This is a coin that is both genuine hub doubled and also a little bit of machine doubling. You can see there on the left of the E and we, showing a little bit of MD, but overall it's got all the goods in there as well. Lots of doubling on Liberty and the date as well. Check those out. When they're a lot more circulated, like this one is, it begins to soften up some of these devices that generally show the strongest doubling. But even in this condition, you could see it really well. So this is a coin, ladies and gentlemen, that got kicked around a number of times and passed over for a cup of coffee or what have you, that ended up selling for $120. Someone scooped this one up right away. It did not stay on eBay for that long. It sold within moments. So just to let you know, it's a hotly pursued variety, one that should always be looked at. And there are a few dates within the 60s that you guys need to pay attention to. 65 is just one of the most magical dates, and because of this particular variety right here. So look out for that one. All right, we're talking about smalls here. 1919 Lincoln Wheat Cent with a lamination that goes across the coin there. It looks like a lightning bolt. It's really cool. It's preserved, since day one, which is really neat. It's a really cool coin, and this is an error that pops up a lot. For those of you that search through wheat cent rolls, this is something that I pulled out in droves, and this particular coin sold for $14.99. Sure, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but given that you had paid around 5 cents for this coin, I mean that is an incredible flip. Incredible. So, always look out for these. You can find them on just about every date of Lincoln Wheat Cent, and even going into the memorial years as well. And, if you're giving up on these, you really don't like making money. That's all I got to say about that. All right, well, this particular seller kind of ran through the remaining amount of 2023 Philly Lincoln Shield Cent rolls. He or she was selling these at 2 rolls a pop for a mere $26.65. I think they sold out. So there you go. That's how much 2023 rolls are going for today on the secondary market. So if you do come across a full bank box and you're kind of like beating your head against the wall, you might want to consider selling these in lots of 2. I guarantee you're going to be making a grip of cash, especially if you're finding these in the northeast region of the U.S., where some of these extra V coins are coming from. The hunt is quite crazy on these coins, and as you can tell, so are the sealed rolls as well. 1971D. Boy, this coin will hit you like a ton of bricks. At first glance, it doesn't look like anything spectacular, like, whoa, big deal. I got this out of a roll of candy half dollars while I'm looking for my silver. Well, this is another big one too. Check this out. Look at the clash dies on this one. Behind the neck, behind the head, chin area, front of the eyes, bridge of nose, forehead. Whew, man. And it's only on the obverse, too. Now, when you do come across a candy half dollar that has this strong of clashing, it is very, very stunning. This is all devices from the reverse die that transferred through to the obverse die because there was no planchet when the dies clash together. And again, $25 sale here is very good for this particular coin. Now, if the coin was in mint state condition, that value could easily double if the clashing was a lot more earlier state and stronger. Consider it a ×4. Just a really cool coin. And again, die clashes are hot right now. All right, and this one, no exception. A little tiny one here, but yeah, you gotta check out some of these around 2018 to about now 2023. There's some pretty phenomenal die breaks on these. Here's a 2020 Philly, and when you look at the date, obviously you didn't miss a beat there, but you can see a little bit of a crack. Once it hits a date, it formed into a bigger die break looking thing, and it continues through the date right above the first two there. $5.94, 3 bids. Oops, jeez. Had a alert. This is a test. Who would have thought that would popped up right in the middle of my show? Crazy. But anyways, there you go. That's a test and nothing official there on my phone. All right. So getting back to this one again, it seems minor, but these have a little liquidity as people are hunting through for die breaks on the Shield Sense series. This one's cool. We talked about this one. This is the floating Lincoln. Not the obverse Lincoln, but the one on the reverse with the LP2 formative years reverse. And again, over-polished dies on this one. Gives the appearance that Lincoln is really not sitting on a log at all, but just on air. You know, and then you can see other areas of this over polishing, like within a shirt area over there on the left, right above the axe handle. Truly remarkable. Believe it or not, these have a lot of value. Like this one right here, sold for $42.85. You're probably thinking to yourself, who in their right mind would spend that kind of money? Well, this seller had these in quantity and had sold 13 of them at this price level, and he has 2 remaining. So yeah, there is some value here, and you know, again, this is one of those things that if you're not paying attention to, you could easily toss these aside. 1977 $10 bill. I believe this is the only piece of currency on our list. Now that's nuts. We usually have like 5 or 6 of them. We have a simple gutter fold on this older 10. So the subject sheet had a little wrinkle in it. It was printed over, and this is the end product here. And you can see it on the reverse as well. This one sold for $103.95. Beautiful piece there. 1937 Lincoln Wheat Cent. This one is what they call an improper alloy mix, but the more affectionate term is woody. It's kind of like a wood grain pattern on the coin. So the little negligible amount of aluminum or tin that was combined in tandem with the copper mix, it didn't mix too well. So this is that end product that you have here, but you see this more on the older coins pre-1960 for the most part. This one sold for $9.95. Again, this is another one of those particular anomalies that are collected by date. There are a few people that I know personally that are looking for one of every date of this. Maybe not necessarily every mid-mark, because that could be quite a challenge. But this could end up being a very stunning presentation. Good old Crown die chip making an appearance yet again. This is a little bit smaller, kind of like the middle progression of the Crown die chip, right atop Washington's head on his hat right there on the reverse. We all know this, and this is actually a nice condition example. This one sold for $59.85, which seems to be kind of like that going rate for these days. These used to be at one point almost $200 when they were first found, and you know, they're not all the way down to zero. So $50, that's still not too bad. Oh, this seller had a number of lots, and there were a number of people sleeping on this particular lot right here that you're seeing. Because outside of that top left corner coin, the 72D Lincoln, there's really not a whole lot of great stuff here. A couple broad strikes, partial tilted collars that you can see there at the bottom two coins. So what if I told you that this lot sold for $64.25? Some of you probably think, oh, that's a pretty decent deal. What if I told you that top left coin easily sells for a bill, a C note? See? It's all about recognizing the opportunity. You know, I've told you guys, you could always cherry pick off of eBay to do your own bidding. You buy this lot and you sell the coins individually, and then you 2x your money. So yeah, a very beautiful lot. That Cud die break is breathtaking. But is it the biggest die Cud or die break or Cud die break this week? You guys stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss what I have for you. From the same seller, we have four off-center struck Lincolns, all with readable dates. And what if I told you that this lot sold for $66.75? Again, you guys will think I'm crazy. The top left coin, the 57D, easily accounts for about $50 of that value. And then all the other coins you could sell for anywhere between $20 and $30 a piece. This sounds like a 2x possibility here, although there was a little bit of damage there on the 61D bottom left coin. If you can see it on the reverse there. Incredible what can be found out there. This is an easy all-for-one flip. Do it, make money. All right, well, here we go. Things are going to get really squirrely here. The last 7 or 8 listings for the PCMR. Everything sold by South Park Coins. Here's the first one here. This is a Lincoln cent that was struck through a kind of like a mid-stage cap die. You could see a little bit of the brockage there on the obverse of the coin. A very well-struck reverse. So there wasn't actually a coin stuck to the die, and this is kind of like that byproduct here. This one sold for $26.45 with 18 bids. Wow. How about this one here? Looks to be a blank planchet, right? And it is. But here you go. This is a Type 1. It never went through the upsetting mill. It doesn't have the upset rims on there. And look at the striations on the front of the coin. All right, which indicates that this is a split planchet. Even before it went through the upsetting mill. This is probably a very thin planchet. Probably weighs 1.5 grams, something like that. But this is a cool find. Can you imagine opening up a mid-sewn bag of brand new coins and finding this in there? $34.26 with 12 bids. But wait, it gets crazier. Check this next one out. 1973D Lincoln Memorial Cent, double struck, uniface obverse. All right, check out the reverse there. So there was 2 coins that were overlapping, or more appropriately, there were maybe two planchets that were overlapping, or one struck coin and a blank planchet. In the striking chamber, of course, there was a collar malfunction when this happened. So this one right here, folks, sold for $41 with 16 bids, but the craziness continues. Here's a much cleaner 72D. I like this one a little bit better. Full readable date. Beautiful, beautiful condition coin. This one sold for $51.95 with 16 bids this time around. Are you guys seeing the trend here? There's a lot of phenomenal high-grade specimens and just some really gnarly rarities coming up. Talk about one of the more difficult dates to find off-center. 1970S. Large date, of course. Lincoln Memorial Cent. It's off-center by about 50-55%. This one never comes onto the market. We've seen plenty of 70s Phillies and 70 Denvers, but rarely do we find 70S. This one is 70D. There you go. That's one we've seen quite a bit. This one's off-center by about 75%. And this one sold for $30.85 with 12 bids. 69D, another date that we do see quite often, 60% off center this time, $27.15 with 13 bids. Oh, there's a 67 right there. We've seen a few 67s. This is actually not that difficult of a date to find if you are collecting this by date. This one's off center by about 50%, and $38.51 with 16 bids. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud to introduce two of the craziest ungraded coins that you will lay eyes on probably for the holidays. Boom, look at this thing. So we don't know what the date is, but that, ladies and gentlemen, is a ginormous Cud die break. It's only almost 50% of the entire coin. Now, granted, there was a little bit of damage at the top bubble of that Cud. Probably because it ended up going through a sorting machine and it scuffed up somewhere in that process there. But you would be hard-pressed to find any other Cud that's as big as this one. So I showed you that other coin that sold in that lot earlier in the video, and that one is impressive by itself. That, ladies and gentlemen, I say is a $100 plus coin. So when something like this pops up, you kind of figure, oh, it's probably $100 to $200, right? No. It sold for $619.95 with 14 bids. But is this the biggest one from South Park Coins? No, they saved a banger for last. Check this one out. It looks like a Batarang. That's how crazy it is. 1969D Lincoln Memorial Cent that was struck on some scrap, some crap scrap is what happened here. And the coin was broad struck and all that great stuff. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a manta ray and a Batarang had a kid. And that's the 69D that you see here. $707.95 was the final tally on this bad boy. 17 total bids. So these aren't like juiced up, buy it now type listings. There were a lot of people, a lot of industry collectors and experts that was all in on these listings, especially that Cud die break that we just witnessed. These are phenomenal coins. I'm glad we were able to see them, especially this time during the year. Again, this is stuff you don't see ungraded, and even if it was graded, it's not going to sell for too much more than what this one did. So that tells you a large part of the story about how staying away from grading companies when it comes to errors and varieties is paramount to the success of your guys' reselling passions. Alright, as always, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Nothing is financial advice. We're just enjoying the hobby here at this point. All the sales and stuff come secondary after you've mastered the fine art of educating yourself. Collect responsibly and grade responsibly if you're into that as well. That's going to go ahead and wrap things up for this midweek edition of the PCMR. I will not have a formal PCMR on Saturday. Again, we're going to be in Las Vegas for some events. So, yeah, well, we'll do some alternative video at that point. But that's it. I'm Sean with BlueRidgeSilverhound. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my content, my videos. Go ahead and check out my other social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok as well. Would love to see you guys there. You guys have a wonderful day. Best of luck in your hunts. And I will see you on the next coin video. So long.